that take care of us here in this great country that we live in. At this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, if I could ask you to please rise, remove your headgear, and stand for the national anthem. Start our show here tonight. We do, like I said, we do have 8 great classes ahead for you. The first class is going to be our 6,500-pound street legal gas. Josh Rigo, you will be up first. Dominic Carver, you'll be on deck, and Joe Rout, you will be in the hole. Again, I'd like to thank our firemen and our EMS. We have the Appleseed EMS from Arlington and the Delaware Township Fire and Rescue out of Mount Blanchard. We thank you very much. We also thank all of our police for being out here tonight. I did hear, for those of you that are staying around the party, they are going to have a quiet time tonight, so sounds like they're going to sort of enforce it. So give you a heads up. We will probably definitely have a little quiet time. We do have a live streaming going on tonight by Small Media. He's at the finish line. He came up here and got it okayed with Chris out there. And he is going to be live streaming the polls tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And again, the first up. I'd like to thank you, our sponsors, for our show here tonight. We have a lot of sponsors, some for just the show here tonight. We also have some that are sponsored the whole weekend. I'd like to thank Hardin Diesel, Morrison Electric, and Findlay Trucking for helping us out here. And this is going to be our first up, Josh Riddle. Now remember, he is the first hook. He is the first hook, so he's going to have the chance to take this hook. He's the #1 test hook. If he wants to turn it down and bring it back around, he can. So he's going to be our test hook for the first time tonight. And he's out of Kent, Ohio, driving a 22 Dodge. We'll see what that old Dodge has got going on for him. Once we got the flag, we'll have our first run down the track. All right. And the distance for Josh of 293.63. 293.63. Can you let us know if he wants to keep that, if he's going to turn that down? A distance of 293.63. And he is going to keep it, so that's our first official distance for the evening. Our next hook is going to be Dominic Carbon. Joe Rout, you will be on deck, and Ty Hardin, you'll be in the hole. I'd like to thank some more of our sponsors while we got the time here. Bollinger Combine, Hartman Diesel, T&T Fireman, August Truck Repair, Morrison Electric, Cogley Trucking, Streaker Tractor, and Bob May Farms. We thank all of our sponsors, and those are sponsors for the whole weekend right there. Without the sponsors, we can't do our show, and I guarantee the Northwest Ohio Antique Machinery Association definitely appreciates the sponsorship from the sponsors. And again, this is our 86, right? This is our 6,500-pound street legal gap. So this is what we're running right now. They saw something they didn't like, and that was Dominic Cobart out of Fayette, Ohio, so they're going to drop him to the bottom. So Joe Rout, you will be up next. Ty Hardin, you'll be on deck, and Matt Tangman, you will be in the hole. All right, Joe Rout out of Kenton, Ohio with a 79 Ford hooking up to the sled right now. While he's hooking up, we're going to wait for the green lights and green flags. I'd like to thank Garner Transport, Northwest Railroad, Ohio Railroad Preservation, CBE Electric, Fern Cafe, Deeds Outdoor Development, Mac Tools, Mason Abbott is your shop. Those are some more of our sponsors. We got green on the sled, green on the track. Let's see what Joe can do with his 79 Ford. You'll be in the hole. This is Ty Harding out of Waynesfield. He's 8 Ford. Now right now, Ty, the distance to beat is 293.63. So we'll see what the 78 Ford has going on. We've got pretty much Ford and Chevy the rest of the way through here, folks. We had one Dodge, so that Dodge's got a lot on the line with Josh Riegel. All right, green everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Right here you go, Ty Hardin. Well, what do you think he did? He definitely pulled himself into second place with a distance of 286.96. 286.96 for Ty Harding. Matt Kingman, you'll be on deck. DJ Rout, Matt Kingman, you'll be on deck. DJ Rout, you'll be on deck. And Rick Shirley, you'll be in the hole. Again, I'd like to thank GLR Excavating, K&L Ready Mix, Green Excavating, Findlay Farms, Hancock Historical Museum, Crafted Design Gallery, Andy's Tractor Repair, Robertson, Revival, Ohio Logistics, and Jack and Joe's Pizza out of Findlay. Thank you so much for all of our sponsors. Again, I'd like to thank the Hardin County Pullers for coming out here and putting this on today. I understand they had an antique tractor pull this morning in the AM, doing the pull this afternoon. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting that time of year where we've got pulls like every weekend, sometimes multiple days of the week. Next weekend on August 8th, we are in Ada for the Farmers and Merchants Picnic at the War Memorial Park there in Ada, Ohio, and that is Saturday, August 8th, and that will be starting, I do believe, at 7 o'clock, if I remember right. And right here we go. Matt Kingman out of Wapakoneta, 85 Ford, he's got a ramp up. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think he did? I tell you what, he pulled himself into second place, only behind by a little bit. He pulled 293.01, 293.01. Josh is still holding on to it, 293.63. So we got less than right at a half an inch on the distance of the hooks right there, ladies and gentlemen. DJ Rout, you are up next. Rick Shirley, you are on deck. Chandler McCormick, you are in the hole. And go along with that, Farmers and Merchants, they are selling some raffle tickets. I think they're selling them out here around for $5 a ticket. Not need to be present to win, and it will tell you what the prizes are on that ticket. So it's a purple ticket, so if you see that, there is another raffle going on down here by the entry trailer, so that's got a prize of like $6,000 for that one. You might want to come up and check that out if you like the raffle. Again, I was told earlier there's a red Ford Ranger KBE 1196 sitting down at the starting end of this track. It had their headlights on. I don't know if they're still on, but it was a Ford Red Ford Ranger if you left your headlights on. All right, this DJ Rout out of Alger, he's also got a 78 Ford. bouncing. Now he can stop as long as he doesn't go past the 100-foot mark, which is going to be that first cone. He had in the wrong gear, little wheel bouncing there that I saw. They're taking a look at it. I don't think I saw anything come off. He's going to make a decision whether he wants to redo it. They're going to pull him back, by the way it looks. And if you lost an iPhone, we do have it up here at the entry trailer. Especially, it's probably going to be one of the Pullers or Pullers families. If you lost an iPhone, we do have your iPhone. We got DJ pulled back to the starting position again, or at least close to it. He just had a little wheel bounce going on, and there's nothing good happens with wheel bounce, I'm here to tell you. And here goes DJ around this time. One more time over. He's got another chance to do it. He's just not getting the power to the ground, ladies and gentlemen. He's just not getting the power to the ground. That's going to be all it wrote. Distance for DJ of 17.21 feet. 17.21 feet. All right. Rick Shirley, you are up next. Chandler McCormick, you are on deck. And Daniel Snyder, you will be in the hole. Again, I'd like to thank our sponsors for the polls here tonight, Hartman Diesel, Morrison Electric, and Goodway Trucking. I thank you so much for sponsoring the polls here tonight. Now, like I said, we have a lot of sponsors here. They specifically put some money in for the polls, but we do have full-time sponsors for the Northwest Ohio Antique Machinery Association truck the whole show here, and we'll be reading those throughout the night. I'd like to ask everybody, if you could, if you know any of these people personally, or even if you don't, but you know where their business is, just go in at any given time and tell them thank you, that you know that they help sponsor these shows, and just tell them thank you for doing it. We can't do it without our sponsors. Looking up the sled right now is Rick Shirley out of Galion, Ohio, and it's going to be our first Chevy of the night, a 1986 Chevy. Now let's see, we got a Dodge lead, and we had all fours up until this point, except for one Dodge, holding the lead at 293.63. We have a Ford, and that was by Josh Regal. We're going to see what Rick Shirley had going on here. Well, I'm going to tell you what. You know what Rick Shirley just said to that Dodge driver? He said, here, hold my Mountain Dew. He came up with a distance of 325.07. That's your new leader right there. 325.07 for Rick Shirley. Moves himself right up there, and not by a little. We're talking by a lot. Right there. Chandler McCormick, you'll be up there. Daniel Snyder and Leon Clark. And Joey Hauser, you'll be in the hole. EMS, which is Appleseed out of Arlington, Ohio, our EMS for being here for the protection of not just only our drivers and our track crew, it's for anybody that needs it in our audience. We also like to thank Delaware Township Fire and Rescue out of Mount Blanchard for being here as our fire guard. I also like to thank our law enforcement. Again, I'd like to remind everybody out in the campgrounds and so himself in the lead with his 86 Chevy, so we'll see what the 87 does. Second place with a distance of 310.84. 310.84 for Chandler. Daniel Snyder, you'll be up next. George Foster, Moses, you'll be on deck. And Dominic Carter, you'll be in the hole. And Dominic will be our last foot for this class. So if you are in the next class, which is a stock turbo diesel, Jason McCormick, you'll be up first. Jason Wagner, you'll be on deck. And Ryan Durup, you will be in the hole. Now again, that's for the stock turbo diesel. Jackson, Jason, and Ryan, you will be the first three in this hook, or in that class. We only have 2 more hooks in this, or 3 more hooks in this class. So if you are in that class, be prepared. WORKSTOCK diesel, guys, make sure you get to your trucks. We only have, in the turbo diesel, we only have 6 of them in there, so we're going to try and keep this show running because of the possibility of rain tonight. I'm pretty sure we got at least 10. Me being the meteorologist that I'm not, I'm saying we got to at least 10 o'clock this evening. So Daniel Snyder on Bucyrus in a 96 Chevy. See if those Chevys keep dominating here. He's backing up to the sled. Troy Moses, you will be on deck. Dominic Carbett, you will be in the hole. And again, if you're in the stock turbo, Jackson, Jason, and Ryan are our first 3. All right, we got green everywhere. See if those Chevys going to keep dominating out there. Daniel Snyder out of Bucyrus. I tell you what, right there, Daniel Snyder, you just pulled yourself into second place by 1 foot, basically. 311.36. 311.36 for Daniel Snyder, pull himself into second place. So we're 325, 311, and 310 on the Chevy. The Dodge is number 4 right now at 293. Troy Moses, you out of Arcadia, you are up next. Dominic Corbett, you are on deck. just a little quick switch here. Dominic Carter is going to be our next hook out of Fayette, Ohio, on his 86 Ford. If you notice, he was like the number, he was up earlier. They saw something they didn't like, they sent him back around and made him come back on the backside, get things put together. So this is going to be Dominic Carter out of Fayette, Ohio, 86 Ford. All right, let's see if a Ford can do it. You've got one chance. Right now, Chevy and Dodge are dominating. They've taken all the Fords and put them on the bottom shelf. He gave her a try, ladies and gentlemen. Distance for Dominic of 281.73, 281.73. All right, we have one more hook in this class. Troy Moses out of Arcadia in a 92 Chevy. Then we'll be ready for our stock turbo diesel. Jackson McCormick, you'll be first. Jason Wagner, you'll be on deck. And Ryan Zurup, you will be in the hole. So if you're those first three, please be ready. It looks like you're sitting there. The whole class looks like they're sitting there. Again, I'd like to thank Bollinger Combine, Hartman Diesel, TNT Fireman, August Truck Repair, Morrison Electric, Tugly Truck, Streaker Tractor, and Bob May Farms. We thank you for your sponsorship here at the Northwest Ohio Antique Machinery Association show. This is going to be our last hook in the class. This is Troy Moses out of Arcadia. Right now we have Rick Shirley in an 86 Chevy with 325.07 sitting on top. We've got Chevy in the top three right now and Dodge in number 4. So all the Chevys have been right there at that 310 plus mark. No pressure, Troy. I'm not trying to make you scared or anything, but you can't, you got to do it. You got to show what you got right there, Troy. That's okay. They'll back him up. He didn't make it past the 100-foot mark. We can give him a second chance if he wants to do it. They'll let him get her wound back up and give him the green light. We'll see how it goes. I have a feeling this truck's pretty strong if you can get her working pretty good. That's it right there. We're going to give him his official distance of 17.53. This is a 17.53. All right, well, we're going to double check our measurements here, and we'll give you the top 4 here in just a minute. While she's calculating those up, I want to thank Garnet Transportation, Northwest Railroad, Preservation, CE Electric, Burn Cafe, East Development, with 310.84. Second place goes to Daniel Snyder out of Bucyrus with his Chevy at 311.36. And ladies and gentlemen, congratulations for this class. Rick Shirley out of Gallion, Ohio, is 86.25.0, and that is your top 4 for this class. Now we are ready for our next class, which is the stripping on my tongue. Stock Turbo Diesel. Jason McCormick is up first out of Greenwich, Ohio. 2005 Chevy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, he had a distance of 351.27. 351.27. Now we're going to find out whether he wants to keep that, but I have a feeling they're going to adjust that slack. And with a distance of 351.27. From what I'm hearing on the radio, we're going to keep them going. Is he keeping that hook then at 351.27? I'm guessing 351.27. That was for Jason McCormick. Jackson McCormick. Jason Wagner, you are up next out of 8 Ohio, 2001 350. All right, this is Jason Wagner, Ada, Ohio. And 21 Ford, Ryan Durup, you'll be up next. Jeremiah Deach, you'll be on deck, and Nathan Garrett, you'll be in the hole. Excuse me, Jeremiah Deep. I apologize, Jeremiah. All right, and here goes Jason Wagner out of Ada, 21 Ford, to see what he can do against that Chevy. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, can I ask you, did the Ford do it? What do you think? Yeah, he did. The Chevy had 351.27. Jason with his Ford had 351.87. Just a little more than half an inch between the two right there. But Jason Wagner did pull himself in the lead. Ryan Durup, you are up next. Jeremiah Deach, you are on deck, and Nathan Garrett, you are in the hole. DOT tire 2-wheel drive trucks. If you are out there, get yourself ready to go. We only have 4 hooks left in this class. So for the 5,200 pound DOT tire two-wheel drive, make sure that you are ready to go. First Dodge in this class. In our stock turbo diesel, 8,000 pound class. All right, Ryan Drupp out of Arlington's getting wound up on his old Ford Dodge. Right there at 322.03 for Ryan, 322.03. That leads us to Jeremiah, you'll be on deck. Nathan, you'll be on deck, and Ryan Price, you'll be in the hole. And that will be our last three hooks of this class. So if you were in a two-wheel drive class, so Jeremy Misslinger, you will be first in that two-wheel drive class. Ryan Scott will be on deck. And Wayne Vandenbrammer, you will be in the hole. Well, this slide's going back. Like, thanks more sponsors. GLR Excavating, K&L Ready-Mix, Green Excavating, Higby Farms, Hancock Historical Museum, Crafted Designs Gallery, Andy's Tractor Repair, Robinson Rust Revival, Ohio Logistics, and Jack and Doe's Pizza. I love their pizza. All right, coming up to the sled is Jeremiah Deach out of Findlay, Ohio. He's driving a 2003 GMC. Green on the track. Let's see if he can get past that 351.87. That's held by Jason Wegner with his Ford. Alrighty, and the distance for Jeremiah of 298.28. 298.28. Nathan Derrick, you'll be up next. Ryan Price, you'll be the last hook in this 8,000 turbo diesel WORKSTOCK. Two more hooks in this WORKSTOCK class. Then we'll be ready for our two-wheel drive again. Jeremy Newswater, you will be first. Ryan Cox be on deck. And Wayne Vandenbrammer, you'll be in the hole. out of Toledo, Ohio. 2018 GMC. Hey Nathan, we need 351.87. We need more than that if you're going to pull yourself up there in the first place position. Remember, Ryan Price will be the last hook in this class. Ryan Price out of Dola, you will be our last hook and Dodge's last chance in this class to get up there and take it away from a Ford or a Chevy in those first two spots. Told you before, ladies and gentlemen, at the beginning of the night, we have 8 classes out here tonight. It's been a good hook so far. We're trying not to waste any time. We like to let you have a nice show, keep it to where the distances are good, not cut them short. That's why we went ahead and left that class a little on the lighter side to keep things going. But we're still out trying to outrun that rain. I know I'm going to be dry, but I don't know about you guys sitting out there in the stand. Again, like I said, he's out of Dola. He's driving a 2010 Dodge Ram. I'd like to also thank our live feed, Smart Media down there at the finish line. Sitting on our side, he's waving his hand. Thank you, sir, for Smart Media being here doing a live feed on this foot here at the Northwest Ohio Antique Machinery Association Truck and Tractor Pull. And here goes Ryan. And he gave her a heck of a shot. This is for Ryan of 340.31, 340.31. We will give you the final top 4 here in this class in just a minute. Top 4, number 4. Now, we're only paying on top 3, but Ryan, you have good distance with 322.03. Nathan Durang, you have 3rd place. That is a paying position of 347.70. Jackson McCormick, 2nd place out of Greenwich at 351.27. And Jason Wagner out of Ada with just a little bit more of 3. Congratulations with the 1st place at 351.87. Now we're going to be ready for a 2-wheel drive, ladies and gentlemen. Jeremy, this one, nice water out of Urbana, 96 Chevy in the 2-wheel drive class, going to be first. Brian Cox will be second, and Wayne Van Brimmer, you'll be in the hole. Can I have a round of applause for Hardin County Pullers out there on the track getting this all done? Hardin County Pullers, ladies and gentlemen, are putting on one heck of a show. Give them a round of applause. Like I said, we're trying to beat the rain. I know everybody's watching the radar. It is what it is. So far, so good. Jeremy Nicewater out of Urbana, hooking up sled in 96 Chevy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, unlike the four-wheel drives, you want to watch these two-wheel drives. They want to pick their front end up just a little bit and have it floating off the top, just off the ground, just a little bit to get their best traction. So we'll see who's got their truck weighted right for the track here tonight. Jeremy's going to keep it so that's our first official flip of the two-wheel drive class. All right, also like to thank some of our sponsors again. Let's thank Hartman Diesel, Morrison Electric, and Findlay Trucking right there. We appreciate you guys for sponsoring the Pullers here tonight. Along with our full sponsors here of the whole show, following their combine, Hartman Diesel, TNT Fireman, August Truck Repair, Morrison Electric, Dudley Trucking, Trigger Tractor, and Bob May Farms. Again, those are our sponsors for the whole show here at Northwest Ohio Antique Machinery Association show. Not just the truck and tractor, it's the whole show. Brian Cox out of Richwood, Ohio in a 74. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Brian just sort of got this out of the barn here a couple years ago, or this year. This was his dad. If you get a chance, you can go back and take a look at this truck. Him and Wayne, the next driver coming up, are from the same hometown. And they've been working together, going from show to show together, pole to pole. But Brian's got this hooked in there pretty good, and Wayne usually going to come up and show you the same thing. But let's see how Brian does with this 1974. She's a good-looking truck, and we'll see what she does. zone, 30 miles an hour and 393.31. Wayne Van Brimmer, you are up next. You brought Brian into this with you. Now you got to come out here and beat him and show him what seniority does out here on the track. All right. All right, if you're a 6,500-pound limited street gas, Corey Zander, you'll be first. Taylor Lucci, you'll be on deck. Martin Little, you'll be in the hole. We do have 10 in that class, and we only have one more hook in the two-wheel drive. So Corey, Tyler, and Martin, you'll be the first three. If you're in that 6,500-pound limited street gas, you need to be staged and ready to go. While we're still down here, looks like they're doing a little something to the sled. I'd like to thank Garner Transport, Northwest Railroad, Ohio Railroad Preservation, CBE Electric, Fern Cafe, Deep Outdoor Development, Max Tools, Mason Abbott is your representative, Egg Pro, Prison Propane, Automotive Machine. We thank all of you for sponsoring these shows here this weekend. All right. We do have a little issue. They will have, I know these guys, they will have it put together in a short period of time. Old Brian had that thing going so fast it didn't know what to do. It got so scared it shivered off a chain, so they got to get that chain set back on there. Well, take that chance. G&L Excavating, again, thankfully for your sponsorship. G&L Excavating, K&L Ready Mix. Green Excavating, Higby Farms, Hancock Historical Museum, Crafted Designs Gallery, Andy's Tractor Repair, Robinson's Rough Revival, and Ohio Logistics, along with one of my favorite pieces in the whole world, Jackson Doe's out of Findlay. They did break the chain on the sled, so it is going to be a couple minutes. So, this is a good time to go back down here to the Cattlemen's Association right behind me. Get yourself some fresh made fries, cheeseburgers, hot dogs, and I tell you what, their onions are good. I've been tasting them for the last 25 minutes, but that's grilled cheeseburger and hot dogs and french fries over there. I guarantee there's more good food stations throughout, but that's the only one I visited here today. All right, but yeah, they do have a broken chain on the sled. We will get it fixed. When they do that, we're going to take just a little break. I'm going to try and play a little bit of music so you're not sitting here in the silence. Again, I'd like to thank the sponsors of our poll here, Hartman Diesel, Morrison Electric, and Grogley Trucking. Thank you so much. Again, you can go to any of these sponsors. If you know anybody that even works there, any of these sponsors, thank them. Tell their bosses or their owners, Thank you so much for sponsoring these polls. Thank you so much for sponsoring the show here at the Northwest Ohio Antique Machinery Association. Without your sponsorship, we can't do this. Without the help of our ambulance, our police, and our fire department, believe me, ladies and gentlemen, we can't do this. I've been around the polls for a lot of years. I'd like to also thank everybody that helped at our polls. I'll give you another couple of polls you can go to. Next weekend, we've got the Farmers and Merchants Memorial Park in Ada, Ohio, starting at 7 o'clock. That's always good polling zone. Unfortunately, you'll be able to hear my voice again. Also, on August 14th at Henry County Fair, just up there in the polling, we have what we call Full Poll Friday. We start out in the morning with the draft horse poll and go into the evening with our brush truck. And on Saturday morning, on the 15th at Henry County Fair, August 15th, we will have an auto farm. And then in the evening, we have our NTJ poll. Now remember, when you come to the Henry County Fair, even with the NTJ poll, you pay one gate fee, and you can go to the infield, you can go to the grandstand. It's one payment for all. And then we'll be right back here on September 6th at the Hancock County Fair, right here on September 6th at noon, September 6th at noon, and at 7 here at the Hancock County Fair. Then we also have another poll on September 11th in Kenton at the Hardin County Fair. So we've got a lot of good polls coming up, ladies and gentlemen, so don't miss out on these polls.
Ohio 2003 Chevy Silverado. And a good run. That'll put him in second place at the moment. And a distance of 243.97. Fair board member Bear Spring is our flagman. And a distance of 258.52. But right now, here comes Randy Stroh, Ford F-250, hometown boy, Perrysville. And a distance of 276.58. So put your eyeball on this next truck, a Ford F-250. Wow, what a run! There's your new leader! Holy cow! 344.20. And a distance of 228.46. And a good run by Dirk Smith. 282.68. 79 Ford F-250. Of 274.19. Wolf. Here comes Ben Stinger, a Chevy out of Mansfield. Wow. And we're putting down at 257.86, 78 Ford F-150. Come on. And we're putting down at 250.44. This is Nate McCune. And that's going to do it for Nate McCune at 262.27. That's going to do it. Not bad at all. Lead off test to it. This is Run Good Running Truck, Joey Bollinger. Uh-oh, something happened. Did he blow a turbo right out of the gate? Holy cow, what a run! 344.69. And we'll put him down at 330.26. They got it all there tonight. Here comes Cooper Brown. He's going to try it again. Man. And we'll put him down at 244.50. This is a running Dodge Ram. Come on. Holy cow, we got a new leader. Give him a hand. What a run. A lot of you people may know him. Rudy Moore, a 2014 Ford F-250. And we'll put him down at 255.18. 2018 Dodge Ram. And we'll put him down at 263.22. One Dodge Ram. and a distance of 2:32.30. Man, what a run! 2:93.36. Bob Knoll at the wheel. Come on. There's a good run. Second place, 300.41. Holy smokes. And we have a new leader, 316 feet, .16. Yeah, come on, that a boy, wow. Man, what a run, we got a new leader, Matt Seymour, the bad boy of WORKSTOCK Diesel Pullers, 324.66. Here comes Nate McCune, a Dodge Ram from Ashland. And a distance of 2:32.42. That a boy, Jackson McCormick. Not a bad run at all for Jackson McCormick, 278.64. Oh, Lester Miller. Gentlemen, that's gonna be good for second place. 03 Dodge Ram 2500. Trenton Person, Perrysville, Ohio. 1919 Dodge. Oh boy, this could be a hot one. Hey, I don't think the front wheel drive's working. Okay, that's gonna do it for Trenton Person, and here comes a Dodge Ram. Loudonville, Ohio. Kevin Lucas, we'll find out. Is he gonna take it? He's the leadoff test took. go Kevin Lucas Dodge Ram. Down at 281.24. And that's going to do it. A good hook at 270.56. And a distance of 266.27. Give me my hand. 276 feet, .09. Uh-oh. Can you believe it? 280.54. And man, he is gonna be a foot short. 279.18. Here comes Justin Beehiller, 04 Dodge Ram, Super Stock Diesel. It's called Digging Deep. Open to the world, National Truck Pull.
say we're going to start us out tonight. Nice job, let's give it up for Gavin. Oh, he's going for it, folks. Let's see what he can do. Oh, he's giving it his all. Let's give it up for Tyler. Dodge Ram. Oh, nice job, Harold. Nice pull for Mike. Way to go, Dane. Nice job. Cool. Nice job. Let's give it up for Larry. Oh, no. All right, that's all she got. Thanks, Kaden. Nice job. He gave it all he got. Great job, Joe. Way to start us off. Here comes Neil McLean. Way to go, Neil. Nice job.
Drinks a little bit. I'm a big pizza guy. Might have to try that. They're probably not going to be open when I get done, though. And he bounced that truck out. Oh, right over in the truck. Easing that thing out of the hole. Now he's right into it. Trying to move that Buckeye Toyota leader cutter. Bad luck got him again. There's the drive shaft shaking around down there. Truck and tractor pulling. Just got to come out here and give it a shot. Here he comes. Taking a pin for Brian Miller out of Junction City, Ohio. Boss comes to a stop right there at Goose Court with all them beers. Here he comes. Not sure what was going on right there. He does not look happy in the cab of that truck. Seat so Kenny. That Buckeye Toyota leader car still sits at 326 and 1. Stop right. him down the right. They're going to start slingshotting across that track in order to navigate the third, but here he comes. Easing it out of the hole, comes past the 100-foot. He's on his way now. He's going to come up. Pizza Cottage, bring me a slice. Here he comes, John Sagamans, and the wait is on. McCormick flags him down right. Oh man, he had a head of steam going on from Amanda, Ohio. You Ford fans, let him hear it. Oh, hang on. That don't. I heard that, you Dodge fans. Don't. First attempt, he won 60.2. All right, he's going to give it up right there at 66 and 9. And here she comes, Stephanie Faulkner, right here, Lancaster, Ohio, born in memory of Alice West, our girl, you. Took right there, Stephanie. got another one out there. But right now, Gavin Nicely from Sydney, Ohio, driving that 2000 Dodge. It is what it is. Pulling tonight for Top in Diesel. The red flag right there. All right, here he comes. Hunter's built the boost in that truck, getting ready to turn it loose. Once again, you semi-drivers, get to the registration table, get registered, please. Hunter's got it coming down the track, but he's not got much ground speed. Dug that thing out of the hole. Thought he was going to. Ryan, he's got a leg up there. Up there toward the speeder code. Good looking machine right there. Track seems like it's getting tore up a little bit, getting a lot of big holes out there. Here he comes, Dustin Watson out of Cumberland, Ohio. Right there, McCormick throws that red flag like he. Tell you what, he's doing an excellent job. Here we go out of Rushville, Ohio. I see lots of great split down there. It's got the track box sled movement. Not tonight, going to come to the stop. All right, here we go. Marcus Phelps from Bethel, Ohio. Let's see what that Dodge will do. Something wasn't right. All right, here he comes. Austin's ready to go. Builds the boost in the truck. Turns it loose. Here he comes. Looking to move that line X leader down to 341 and change. How about that? 45 and change. Jumps right into it. Let's see if he can build enough speed to make it down through there. Not quite enough muster tonight. He's going to come up well. Hour 3:45 and change. Austin Norton, you currently own him, but here comes Joey Dapple. He was digging hard all. Once they go, here he comes. 2-6 class. Route to redemption. About that right there for the first hook of the class. Here he comes to see what that truck will do. First time down the track here at the Fairfield County Fair. How about that right there? Kevin Daly hooked up right now to Lancaster, Ohio. Far from the top. Tight. Industrial black. pulls that truck to a stop right there. Builds the boost in that truck. Here he comes. Racers and diesel performance on the weight box. Here comes Lakeville, Ohio. Tonight, couldn't get the ground speed up high enough. Josh has that. Right there, but he's going to end up at 303. But right now, here he comes, Pete, pouring and changing. Ryan brings that jar. Ryan greets in the air for the red tractor. Brent Kaufman out of Rushville, Ohio. Green News Pizza coming on board on this tractor. Keeps it under control, nice and easy coming out of the hole. Oh man, yeah. He is matriculating down the track. Uh-oh. Sitting in there, nice and easy, keeping it moving up. Right there. McCormick throws the red flag and back tonight for Wiseman Auctions and Real Estate Services. Hey, how about that right there? McCormick gave up on Jimmy Cleveland and the Red Redemption. Let's get another one out the gate. Oh, man, he's going to come up well short of that leader guy. I haven't seen a horse pull in a lot of years. All right. Here he comes, Jake Boring, Thornton, Ohio. Better these distance by about. Up now, we got Wendell Johnson comes to us from Rockbridge, Ohio. Driving a 2000 Sterling 9400. Holy mackerel, did he shoot out of there? He has the head of steam and going, but looky there, the track boss sled grabbed a hold of him. We've got quite a pace for you. Comes out of the hole just a little bit easier than the first one did. Nonetheless, working her way down the track. Let's see what that Mac will do. Watch as soon as that bar up. You gotta have that ground speed or you're not nice. Here comes Mason Wilkinson on that Kenworth T600. Looking to make some noise out here past McCormick. Not tonight. He's going to come up short once again. Back. Oh, man is right, but I bet that's not what he... Local fella right here out of Lancaster, Travis Cup. That 1991 Max Superliner, he's got ahead of Steven coming. He might go past that 250 mark. He's going to wind up right there at it. Comes up short of that 250 mark. He's going to end up... All right, now Travis Cup out of Lancaster, you own that, but here we go. States is giving one more shot at it. Here he comes. Parkinson. Oh, the car. He's been slacking down there. He's been kind of hiding from me. Haven't said much about it. Here we go. One more shot at it for Drew Parkinson. There we go. He's got the track box moving now. Out there, we got one off the big end. Pick out.
Because this is not on our list, but our test took on a John Deere. What happened is we broke the chain on the box. So we are going to start that two-wheel drive class over. Wayne Van Bremer, you will be our first hook once the sled is tested out. So Wayne, you will be our first hook. Then we'll go back to Jeremy, and then Brian, you will be the last hook in the class. Then we'll go into our 6,500 pound limited street gas. Corey Zender, you will be first. Tyler Lucci, you will be on deck. And Martin Little, you will be in the hole. Tractor pull this morning. Hey, you see that? The weight box leveled out right there. That old 40-20 fella to go down. All right, so Wayne Van Brimmer, you will be first on the two-wheel drive 5,200 pound test hook. Jeremy, you'll be on deck, and Brian, you'll be in the hole. Well, we got the second here again. I'd like to thank Hardin Diesel, Morrison Electric, and Dudley Trucking for your sponsorship of the hooks tonight. Also like to thank your Combine, again, Hardin Diesel, CNC Fireman, August Truck Repair, Morrison Electric, Dudley Trucking, Streaker Tractor, and Bob May Farm. We thank you so much for sponsoring the Northwest Ohio Antique Machinery Association show, the whole show here for the weekend. All right, we should be getting started with Wayne Van Bremer out of Richwood. I think our two-wheel drive trucks are back there again. My paperwork says he's got his 95 Chevy, but I guarantee that's not the Buckeye bow tie. That's not the red 95 Chevy, but we're going to see what he can do with his truck. To be honest with you, it's the first time I've seen this truck pull. I think they're going to do some weight adjustments here, folks. This won't take long.
Listening to what you have to say. No, I'm trying to pick up that speaker. The one in the front was too close to the track.
All right, we got some sound down there on the track, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we apologize for the interruption in the action, but we still got a lot of action to go here tonight. We got green all over the track. Once Wayne gets wound up, he's going to be our test hook since we're starting this class over. All right, and Wayne with the distance of 294.86, 294.86, 294.86. Is he keeping it? And he's keeping it. So there's your first official distance for this class. Wayne Van River was 294.86. Jeremy, you'll be back in for your second hook of the night since we restarted the class. I'd like to also thank Garner Transport, Northwest Railroad, Ohio's Railroad Preservation, CBE Electric, Fern Cafe, Deeds Outdoor Development, Mac Tools, Mason Abbott is going to be your representative, Egg Pro, Prism Propane, and Automotive Machine Shop. We thank you all for your sponsorships. Chevy, you saw him hooked before. I think he was right down there at that 300-foot mark before. We'll see what he does now since we had some changes to the sled. All right, looks like all is clear. Alrighty, right there, just a 287.61, 287.61 for Jeremy and the Farm Soda Express. He had a little trouble getting her off the line. They had a little weight to that sled. can tell, we got Brian Cox, who's going to be our next up. Brian Cox is going to be our last hook in the two-wheel drive. That's going to move us into our 6,500-pound limited street gas. Corey Zender, you'll be first. Tyler Loshi, you'll be on deck. And Martin Little, you'll be in the hole. So we're going to be ready to move right into you here after Brian Cox hooks. Right now, Wayne is leading with the distance of 294.86 in the two-wheel drive class. We're waiting for Brian to come out there. We like JLR Excavating, K&L Ready Mix, Green Excavating, Higbee Farms, Hancock Historical Museum, Crafted Design Gallery, Andy's Tractor Repair, Robinson's Rust Revival, Ohio Logistics, and Jack and Joe's Pizza, Findlay, Ohio. All right, Brian broke the sled last time. Let's hope Brian doesn't break the sled this time. Pole is 1974. Let's hear it for Brian. Let's hope he doesn't break the sled this time around, Brian. Get her wound up and bring her on down. 294 is what it takes today. Truck right there, Ford. This is a 330.37. Congratulations, Wayne Van Brimmer, second place, and Jeremy for third. We thank you very much, and congratulations to all three of you. Right here, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to move into our 6,500-pound limited street gas. Corey Zender, you'll be up first. Tyler Loshi, you'll be on deck, and Martin Little, you'll be in the hole. Again, I'd like to thank here Hartman Diesel, Morrison Electric, and Cogley Trucking for sponsoring our poll tonight. Looks like they're going to add a little weight for the 6,500-pound limited street gas. These ladies and gentlemen can get her moving down the track here, so they're going to make sure that they keep them under control. Again, I'd like to thank Appleseed Arlington EMS for being here. Delaware Township Fire and Rescue also, thank you so much for being here tonight. Again, I'd like to remind everybody next Saturday in Ada is the Farmers and Merchants Picnic starting at 7 p.m. right there in Ada. We do have a raffle going on with that also. Need not be present to win. right, this is Corey Zender on a Rising Sun in a truck that he calls the Lone Dome. Looks to be about a 77 for him, maybe 78. Listen up here. You had a distance of 273.63, 273.63. You gotta let us know if you want to keep it or turn it down since you're our test. Tyler Loshi, you'll be up next. Martin Little, you'll be on deck. And Joe Holland, you'll be in the hole. All right, Corey's gonna keep that. So that is your first official distance for the night. 273.63 is what it's going to take to beat. Tyler, you were up next. All right, I'd like to thank our sponsors, GLR Excavating, K&L Ready Mix, Green Excavating, Digby Farms, Hancock Historical Museum, Crafted Design Gallery, Andy's Tractor Repair, Robinson Rust Revival, Ohio Logistics, Jack and Doe's Pizza. Again, thank you for sponsoring the whole weekend show here at the Northwest Ohio Antique Machinery Association. Up next is Tyler Loshi out of Decatur, Indiana. He pulls a 77 Ford. Been watching this gentleman pull for the last couple years. He can get her down there. He can get her down there if he wants to. Decatur, Indiana. He's got the green all over the place. See what he gets along up to. Well, do they have that sled set right now or what? Tyler, a distance of 273.28, 273.28. Corey, you're still in the lead by less than half an inch there, driver. So we got the first two hooks in the 273 separated by 0.63 and 0.28. Martin Little, you'll be up next. Joe Holland, you'll be on deck. And Chuck Close, you'll be in the hole. I think I ate a lot of dirt on that one. How about you? Did everybody on this side of the track eat a little dirt on that one? Got a little grit in our teeth. Chevy is what he's bowling right out there tonight. down here, both of them at the 273 mark. That'll be our first Chevy right here with Martin Little. Respectable hook there for Martin, a distance of 242.28. 242.28 for Martin. Joe Hollins, you will be up next. Chuck Klaus, you'll be on deck. And Tanner Foley, you will be in the hole. Again, thank you, Hartman Diesel, Morrison Electric, and Cogley Trucking for sponsorship of our polls here tonight. I will say that special thanks to everybody that helped fix the sled to get it going. I know all those people that were down there weren't all part of the Hardin County Pullers. You know, everybody, including the spectators, the Pullers, and the Hardin County Pullers, we want to put on a good show here for you tonight. So thank you for everybody that helped put that sled together. Sled right now is Joe Holland out of Kent, Ohio. 2010 Chevy is what he's hooking on. Joe, right now you got to make it past at least a 274 to pull yourself in first or second position. Joe, I gotta tell you what, Joe, you had me cringing up here. I was waiting for a break, but you pulled a distance of 220.95. 220.95. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how often you watch a hook, but when a truck starts jumping like that, usually we got shrapnel on the track, but Joe held it together. Tanner Foley, you'll be on deck, and Ron Lowry, you will be on in the hole. Lowry. Excuse me, I skipped one. Tanner and Mark Overly. I said that wrong. So it's Chuck, Tanner, and Mark. Two-wheel drive, boys, if you could come get your checks, we'd greatly appreciate it. Keep the checks going out. So the last class, once you get back to your truck, if you could send somebody up here to get your checks, that would be great. All right, this is Chuck Klaus out of Tiffin. He's pulling an International right here, ladies and gentlemen. A good old classic, the old International. chuck of 244.38, 244.38. There's something classy about those long bed step sides. Something awfully classy about those long bed step sides. You don't see them very often. Tanner Foley, you will be up next. Mark Overly, you will be on deck. And Ron Lowry, you will be in the hole. Tanner pulling up the sled next. Remember, Tanner, you got to get up there in that 274 mark to pull yourself into first or second. 273 is holding both places, minus a couple of tenths of an inch. I gotta ask this question. Do you think he did it? Do you think Tanner did it? Well, I tell you what, he did it by a quarter of an inch. He has pulled himself into the lead at 273.78. 273.78. There's less than 3/4 of an inch from first place to third place at this point in time. You got Tannerson at 273.78, Coreyson at 273.63, and Tyler sitting there at 273.28. So right there, we've got that sled dialed in, ladies and gentlemen. So it's still going to take 274 plus to pull yourself into first place. Mark Overly, you will be hooking up next. You get the chance. Ron Lowry, you will be on deck, and Jordan Vermillion, you'll be in the hole. Now, Mark, you know what it's going to take to go out there and do this? You got to get past that 273 mark there, man. You got to just get to that 274 to pull yourself up there and go. Do we think Mark can do it? Do we think Mark out of Continental with his 84 Ford can make it to that 274 mile mark? Well, we're going to find out right now, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Overly. Close, but no cigar. Distance for Mark of 257.84, 257.84. That puts him up there in fourth place right now. Ron, you are next. You are up next. Jordan Vermillion, you're on deck. And Mike Smith, you are in the hole. If you are in Sean Lashway, if you are out there, you're the only one in that 6,200 pound. You will be coming up here shortly. We're going to finish running out our 6,500 pound limited gas. Ron Lauer, you'll be up next. Nobody seems to be able to break that 274 mark. We only got 3 more chances to do it. Morrison Electric and Cogley Trucking here. This is what your money's going for, showing these trucks coming down the track tonight. So let's see what we got going on. We got to break at 274 mark. Ron out of Mount Vickery in a 96 GMC. It's a good looking truck, but can he bring her past that 274 mark? We have 266.08 for Ron, 266.08. All right, we still need that 274 mark. Jordan Vermillion, I was told everything's going good for Acre Shaker. We need to get that one up here and bring her past that 274 mark. So Jordan, you'll be up next. Mike Smith, you'll be the last hook in this class. Then we'll have Sean Lashaway. That'll be ready for our 8,200 pound work stock diesel. So Tyler Brown. We need a tow tractor, guys. We need a tow. Somebody come out here and give him a quick hook and pull him back around. We'd greatly appreciate it. Hopefully we have a tow tractor or tow truck. With With all the tractors we got sitting behind us in the lot, you'd think we'd have one tractor with a chain out there. But in the 8,200-pound WORKSTOCK diesel, Tyler Brown, you'll be first. Clay Hastings, you'll be on deck. And Larry Thiel, you will be in the hole. We do need a tow tractor or a tow buggy or a tow truck, something to help us clear off the track. Well, looks like you got her going on his own accord right there. We appreciate the tow buggy coming out. But it looks like you got her back up and going. Switch it up here just a little bit. Mike Smith is our next up out of Wapakoneta, pulling a 78 Ford. Now, Mike, listen to me close. We need 274 out of that Ford, that 78 Ford. Need 274 to pull yourself up, because otherwise our first three classes, our first three, are all 273 and tenths of an inch. Smith out of Wapakoneta. See if he can do that. 274. Well, Mikey gave her a shot on a good-looking Ford there. We have a distance of 233.84 for Mike, excuse me. Mike, you had a distance of 233.84. Our last hook of the class is going to be Jordan Vermillion out of Arlington. Then we'll have Sean Lashaway. He is our only hook in the 6,200-pound altered gas. Then we'll move into our 8,200-pound WORKSTOCK diesel. Again, Tyler Brown, you'll be first. Clay Hastings, you'll be on deck. And Larry Thiel, you'll be in the hole. So right here, ladies and gentlemen, now listen up. This doesn't happen very often. Ron Lowry, you got fourth at 266.08. Now listen up. The rest of the three are within tenths of an inch. Third place, Tyler Loshi at 273.28. Corey Zender got second at 273. go. At 273.63, and congratulations goes to Tanner Foley, a distance of 273.78, less than 3/4 of an inch for everything there. Thank you so much right there. We're ready for our 6,200-pound altered gas. Sean Lashway out of Wayne at 72.4. He's going to hook up right there, and then we're going to move into our 8,200-pound WORKSTOCK diesel. Right there for Sean of 176.62, 176.62. All right, ladies and gentlemen, give him. He was our only hook in that class right there, ladies and gentlemen. So let's give him a round of applause right there. All right, Tyler Brown, we're ready to start our 8,200-pound WORKSTOCK diesel. We do have 7 in this class. Do we have our 8,200-pound WORKSTOCK diesel? We called for them quite a while ago. Galleon, Ohio. Going to be driving an 03 Dodge Ram. He will be our test hook for this 8,200-pound class. And remember, drivers in the pits, when you come out onto the track, make sure your headlights are off. See what your 03 Dodge can do. You're gonna get her wound up, get that turbo sitting up there high and dry, get that black smoke rolling, and here he goes, Tyler Brown. All right, Tyler with the distance of 301.15, 3:01.15, and they did have a speed of 24.5 miles an hour. And that was 3:01.15. And he is going to keep it. The distance right now, our first distance, 3:01.15. Clay Hastings, you will be up next. Larry Thiel, you will be on deck. And Lester Miller, you will be in the hole. Hey, track. I think you like antifreeze coming out. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give you a little rundown here. I believe we had a little incident with the sled again. So I'm going to thank some more of our sponsors. I'm going to thank Ballinger Combine, Hartman Diesel, TNT Fireman, August Truck Repair, Morrison Electric, Hogley Trucking, Streaker Tractor, and Bob May Farms. We thank you so much for sponsoring this weekend. It is going to take a little bit of time. We do believe the chain might have broke again. It took a pretty big slam right to the end there, Tyler Brown. Slammed that weight right up there to the stop. Again, I'd like to thank our EMTs and our fire departments for being here. I also like to thank Garter Transport, Northwest Railroad, Ohio's Railroad Preservation, CBE Electric, Fern Cafe, Deeds Outdoor Development, Mac Tools, Mason Abbott is your representative, Egg Pro, Prism Propane, and Automotive Machine Shop. Thank you so much. Again, I'd like to remind everybody, next Saturday will be in Ada at the War Memorial Park. What a nice park to have a pull in, ladies and gentlemen. It will start at 7 p.m. I do believe we do have raffle going on there. Also on August 14th and 15th, 2-day pull at the Henry County Fair. Friday starts out at noon, or 1 o'clock, with the draft horse hook, and then going into our truck and tractor pull, as we're watching tonight, starts at 6:30 or 7 p.m. on the 14th. The 15th, we have the out of field county pull at 10 a.m. in the morning, and then we have the NTPA pull in the afternoon. And then on September 6th, right back here, Sunday, September 6th, right back here at Hancock County Fair, we have a pull at noon, and then we have the OSTPA at 7 p.m. So that's a two-day, 2 hooks, 1 day right here at the Hancock County Fair. And also on September 11th at the Hardin County Fair in Kenton, we have a pull, I do believe starts at 7 p.m. also. So just stick with us, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back at it here in just a little while. They know how to fix it. They got it fixed last time. So let's see what we have to go on. Ladies and gentlemen, I hate to tell you this, but the sled